Zach Maslany now making his way to the stage. Maslany in the black and white. Expect fireworks, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
10th Planet Bethlehem.
Veritable dream team of killers.
Him and JM
Yes, sir.
holding down the fort at 10th Planet Bethlehem.
Great technique. He's
He's a beast. He's a savage.
excellent coaches, I have to say. Great guys, JM and Zach.
That's a beautiful.
Great guys, JM and Zach.
Veritable dream team of killers.
He's a beast. He's a savage.
Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
10th Planet Bethlehem. It's 10th Planet Bethlehem. It's a bit.
Great technique. He's
It's 10th Planet Bethlehem. Always a thumbs up, I give you my spirit till all my niggas' wrists is uncuffed. It's hard to celebrate Christmas as a black man, cause like ornaments on trees, that's just how we was hung up. One love, MTV, this is unplugged. Stacking this cheese reminds me of mama's lasagna. From crafting double entendres, the child of Coleman and Tanya. Just a gap, two genius word to my cousin Jolanda. Twist up this ganja till I go over yonder. They say I got too much will, like 24s on Hondas. I've been sponsored off white since Ye lived in the go. You niggas slow if that just dawned on you like kitchen soap. God bless your heart. God bless your heart.
Yo, what up? Zach's Corner podcast. I'm going to guess and say this is podcast number 22, 21, somewhere in there. I labeled it as 22, so I'm going to have to go back and double check that, but I can't check my phone right now because it's live streaming right over there, so I'm live streaming the podcast. How about that? But holy shit, it's been a while since I've been back. I haven't been here. I haven't done the podcast in a little bit. We've been traveling like crazy, and that's kind of how it always happens to me and JM. It seems like we get all of it happens at once, and then or things happen, and something else comes up, and then we have to jump into it and do it anyways, and then good things come out of it. You don't want to travel. You don't want to be away from your family and all that stuff, but you do what you got to do, and you try to get paid. And that's, what we're doing. Well, part of it was we spent a lot of money traveling to Japan, but then we were in Boston directly after that. We were home for like a day or two. Then we left for Boston, and we filmed a bunch of videos for BJJ Fanatics, which is dope. Great opportunity. I got to teach at the Fuji gym. JM taught class, so it was really dope. Having Travis Stevens, have us down was awesome. So shout out to Travis Stevens. I think he was like a silver medalist in the Olympics judo. So Travis Stevens is a freaking beast. Rolled with him a little bit. He armbarred the shit out of me. That was cool. But it was awesome to be down there. Like the Fuji gym is cool. Met Jimmy Pedro. Got to roll with a bunch of Travis's guys. All the guys, a lot of them do no-gi and judo, or do gi and judo. They don't have many no-gi classes, but we just so happened to be there on a night where there was no-gi class. So we went to it, and we rolled with everyone. So shout out to everybody at the Fuji gym. Shout out to Fuji, right? You guys love Fuji. Fuji's giving some cool stuff out, making some cool new stuff. They made our Pro Team rash guards. They just made a new sick rash guard that we just got, designed by the man himself, Armbar Club, Ted Park. Ted's the man, and he designed it. It's really dope. Like, you guys got to check it out if you haven't seen it. It's only available at the dojo, unless you really bust my chops about it, because everyone's like, save me one. It's so hard to save everyone one. Like, if 500 people go, Zach, save me one, how am I supposed to keep track of that? Like, I'll lose my gourd. So just come to the school and pick one up. We got a bunch there. We're going to try to keep those in stock as much as possible. If you want to order other stuff from Fuji, just go to fujisports.com. I don't know. Actually, just search Fuji BJJ online. But if you use the promo code FINISHERS, you get a percentage off, which is awesome. So check that out. That's Fuji. I guess I could break down the Japan trip. I know a lot of people have been asking for stories and stuff like that. So we got back. We left for Japan on Wednesday morning. We started off with a 3.5-hour ride to Dulles Airport. It's technically in Virginia, but they still say it's DC. So we drove out to DC, and we dropped off the rental, got on the bus, went through customs. We're hanging out, and then we had some time to kill. Had some breakfast, and then we got on the plane. And I don't think it really sat in until it was about maybe an hour and a half in, and I realized there were still 12.5 hours left. I was like, oh man, this is gonna suck. But, I just wanted to get to Japan and just get the trip over with. And, because you're far away and it's kind of like, it definitely gives you anxiety. I'm not going to lie. I felt weird about the trip. I didn't want to be away that far away from the fam, from my wife and the babies. But, I really wanted to be there for Grace. It's like I said, like a milestone in me and Jam's career. Like we had a student of ours get good enough to be on the team that traveled to Japan to fight some of the best women in Japan. So the flight was horrible. Like I watched a million movies. I was down to Point Break. I was literally at the point where I was watching Point Break. And then I realized like all the new movies that are coming out are just older movies redone with new guys. Like Nick Nolte was in that one. Or not Nick Nolte. Who the hell is Nick Nolte? Nick. Shit, I don't remember any of the actors' names. Oh, Gary Busey. Gary Busey was in that one. There was a whole bunch of other guys in it too, Patrick Swayze. But if you watch like old bank robbery movies, the guys were surfers. It's the same movie as shit they're putting out now, The Town, except those guys are Irish dudes or whatever. Like, you just watch some old movies. But I was down to Point Break. I watched some movie with the guy from Harold and Kumar where his daughter got lost. I watched Godzilla, which is, I didn't know if that was disrespectful to watch Godzilla on the way to Japan or thought that maybe might throw off our juju a little bit, but everything worked out. What else did I watch? I watched a ton of movies. I watched some TV, tried to read my book a little bit, but it was just a long ass trip. You thought it would never end. And then it'd be like, dude, 2 hours left. Like 2 hours, I'd be freaking out. Now 2 hours, I was like, wow, it's only 2 hours. I'm actually drinking coffee right now that I bought, organic coffee that I bought in Japan. And I brought back for my wife because she does a podcast too called Coffee with Kat. And then she also like breaks down different coffees and we try a bunch of them. We got a whole bunch. This one is a Japanese coffee. Right, Japanese coffee, and it's really good. It's really good. It tastes like regular coffee, but it's cool that it came all the way from Japan. I have no idea what that says on there, but yeah. So, anyways, got through with the trip. There was a seat in between, so it wasn't as bad. I was able to like maneuver around, and I take the lacrosse ball and I put it right against my back, and I ram my back right into the seat, and it's like I'm getting like almost like a myofascial release, right, is what Craig calls it. Like, but I'm basically working the knots in my back. And I do, if I'm not sitting in the aisle seat and the person next to me stands up, then I stand up and I walk around and stretch and really try to work myself out as much as possible. I try to stretch a lot before both plane trips, and people were looking at me like I was a nut. They're like, what is your problem? Like, why are you just stretching like that, like a weirdo? But like, I know people do yoga, so I don't understand what the big deal is. Yes, it's in the airport, but I'm about to do a 14-hour flight. All that decompression on your back sucks. Like I want to get sponsored by Teeter. I have their back stretcher. It's basically like a thing, goes on your hips, pushes your hips out, but it really extends your lower back and hips. And then it is really good. Like I use it every night. I would definitely suggest one of those, so check out Teeter. I don't have a promo code on that one, but definitely check that out. I use a lacrosse ball, and I did get a sew right too. I got a sew right, but you know what? Traveling to Japan, because it was like, all the way across the other hat, I didn't feel like bringing a bag and dealing with that, so I just traveled with just my Datsusara bag. So I didn't have room to like, bring all these different contraptions. I figured we'd just be all right with just a bag. Once we landed, we went through customs. That wasn't bad. I got through that, but you leave Wednesday and you get there Thursday. So your time difference is so off. You have no idea. On the plane, they, keep it pretty much dark. So it's dark in there the whole time. And then all of a sudden they like kind of kick the lights on. They're like, here's breakfast. You're like, wait a minute. What time is it? We left at 3 p.m. I was like, what the hell? It's just such a time thing that just totally tosses you off. But if you just, once you get there, it's not as bad. You just kind of got to maneuver around and like kind of get the kinks out and try to stay up as much as possible. I don't suggest drinking on the plane because I did have one drink and I forgot, like you get really, really dehydrated. So some people are like, just take like 10 shots and pass out. I'm like, wow, I cannot do that. I had a little glass of wine and I felt like shit. I just kept drinking water and water and water, as much water as possible. And then So we landed in, I forget what part of Japan. Oh shit, I'm getting a phone call. I'm going to have to see who this is just in case I need to talk to him. Okay, I'm back. I have no idea where I was. I just fielded like 9 phone calls and took off the Instagram Live too. So my apologies to everybody on Instagram Live. But yeah, I just got a bunch of phone calls, and I got to answer these because I'm a businessman. I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man. Remember that from Jay-Z? But guys, it's not personal. It's business. All right. But anyways, back to the show. So yeah, we landed. We went through customs, and we'll continue on with the Japan trip. And yeah, so much cool stuff. When we got there, we had to take a train ride through the Japan countryside, and we got to see. Basically, we're in Tachikawa, and we got to see like all the flowers blooming, and just the countryside and the garden. The basically the gardens and stuff that people had set up. Then we got more towards the city, and then we got more towards where we were staying. We stayed at the Tachikawa Grand Hotel. Beautiful hotel. The rooms are definitely not big. They're very small comparable to rooms in America. The Japanese are very efficient. Like they don't. I also noticed there's no trash. Right? There's barely any trash laying around because unlike America, they don't trash their streets. They keep the stuff with them, and it's pretty cool. Like you don't over here. You just see Americans make so much trash. Japanese people, they take care of it themselves pretty much. There's not many trash cans, and they separate everything. They're very into recycling, which is cool. And an interesting thing about their bathrooms, they all have their bathrooms are all very nice. Even public bathrooms, very nice. They all have bidets, which is interesting. If you've never used a bidet, the spray up your butt, that's pretty interesting. But you know what? I think everybody has a bidet. My wife wants one. Everybody wants one. JM loved it. Hello Tushy sells one. I know Joey Diaz, Uncle Joey's got a promo code for Hello Tushy if you're looking for one. A lot of the places also have heated seats, right? Heated toilet seats, which is also pretty interesting. They really take their bathroom and cleanliness to the next level. Everything's also very small, and they also give you, they give you everything at the hotel, which is really cool. They give you, tea, and another interesting thing is breakfast. There ain't shit for breakfast. So me, JM, Eddie Bravo, pretty much every morning we're eating McDonald's breakfast. I would eat like a whole bunch of hash browns and some chicken McNuggets or whatever I had to, because their breakfast is kind of hit and miss. And I was up so early, I just didn't feel like chancing it. I really just didn't feel like chancing it and trying some weird stuff in the morning. But as the day went on and I felt better about things, I started trying other stuff, ate ramen a bunch. We had a bunch of different type of Japanese beers, which is cool. So you're eating the noodles, had some fried rice. We went to a sushi place that was really, really good. We went to what else did we go to? I went to a Japanese barbecue place where you like cook the meat yourself. That was really good. So there was a lot of good stuff. And their coffee wasn't bad. They don't have like Wawa over there or anything like that. But we did have to eat McDonald's for breakfast, so I'm not going to lie about that. We had to. We ate some Thai food. That was really good. At a Thai place, we went there twice, and we drank a whole bunch of beers, broke down Flat Earth and other conspiracies, vaccines, Flat Earth, space, and just, the government and how fake everything is. So why are my dogs fighting like crazy? Hey! Stop it. All right, they heard another dog in the neighborhood. So we have an apartment right now. And we got two little dogs. Obviously, you guys know Merlot and Ziggy, but eventually I'm looking to move to a townhouse or a bigger place for a little bit, maybe a year or two, and then buy a house, a house with, that I'm going to live in for a while. So that's kind of like the path I'm on right now, but I'm not trying to rush it, but I am trying to make moves. I'm always trying to make moves. So let's get back to the trip. So I think that Friday, Thursday, we didn't really do too much. We had, we just wanted to check it out and walk around and see everything. And then I think we did go train Thursday night. So we did get the train out there at a place called Nexus MMA, which was really cool. The main guy was like a 2nd degree black belt, and he worked for Quintet. And if you guys don't know, the reason I was in Japan is because Grace was on the Quintet team. Quintet is like a group. It's like a team tournament, and it just goes down in Japan. They had one in Vegas, and I think they're going to have another one in Vegas. Thor's also on the 10th Planet Quintet team too, so that's going to be dope. Maybe we even have to go back. I have no idea, and I don't want to miss Thor. The whole crew, everybody's got to go to Japan. That would be dope. So, yeah, we went to train, and, a couple of girls had to cut some weight and stuff, so we went to go train, and then it was cool. We got to roll with the black belt out there. The guy was like just super hype. He was super strong. Like he ended my guillotine streak. He guillotined me, which really pissed me off. But I got him in an arm triangle, which was dope. So my arm triangle was powerful. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Coming up too, I got a match at Fight to Win in Cleveland, not this weekend, Easter weekend. I will observe Easter weekend with my family. I will get some training in. And then next week, I got a few more days, got to make sure my weight's right. And then I'm going to be shuffling off to Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out to Seth Daniels for getting me on the card. Excited about that to face Rob Hillman, another black belt from out in Ohio. I'm going to enemy territory on this one. And I'm riding dolo. I'm going to go out there, let the squad here, because I know there's Naga and other stuff going on. So the squad's going to put in work while I also go through and try to choke next. So then we got to, eventually Grace and them had to do some pictures. And I'll tell you what, the Japanese, they love, they really blew this event up. They really put out a lot of, promotion for it. At first they didn't. I was kind of like, wow, this is going kind of slow. I didn't sure if the trip was going to even happen. But then eventually, once it did come through, they did like a big press conference and all the girls had to come out. They had to weigh in and, they had to come out in their, in what they were wearing for the show and do pictures, answer questions from the different reporters that were there. They asked Grace a bunch of questions. I mean, obviously some of it was being translated, some of it wasn't, so I didn't really know exactly what was totally going on the whole time. But it was cool just to be there, got to meet Kazushi Sakuraba, the Gracie killer, like one of the OGs, originals that I used to teach people moves off because I used to copy all his moves from Pride back in the day. Look, if you don't know who Sakuraba is, please put your head in a vice or something, right? You're killing me over here, right? Unless you don't watch MMA. If you're like some MMA fans, I've never heard of Sakuraba. Look him up, right? You're doing yourself a disservice by not knowing about Sakuraba. But I got to meet him, which was really dope. I keep saying dope, but that's what the kids are saying, I think. But yeah, that was really cool. They took pictures outside in like the Cherry Blossom Park. I was drinking champagne on the streets of Japan. It was a really cool experience. And, I'm just very thankful to be able to do something like that. Like when I was working construction, I never would have thought I'd be going to Japan. Everyone was like, hey, Zach, let's go to Japan. For what? Why would I go to Japan? I would go to like, a beach or something like that. I wouldn't necessarily ever want to go to something like, Japan, like go to another country like that, or even go to the UK or anything like that. I just didn't think, I didn't think I'd ever do something like that. I really didn't, so it was like, kind of like surreal, like, and it really didn't even hit me until I got home, until the trip was over and, finally got home and walked in the door and like saw my dogs and my wife wasn't home yet and I was waiting for her and I was just like, wow, like I got to go to Japan. Like that's epic. I should be very thankful for everybody, for, everyone who's helped me go, all my students, for Grace, Eddie Bravo for giving her the opportunity, for Quintet for coming up with a cool thing, my mom for having me, and just, my dad being there for me and just people pushing us to do this. And like, it's crazy. Now, Grace's 2 matches, like if you haven't seen those, please, I don't even know what to say to you. I really don't. If you're like, dude, I haven't had a chance. What are you doing with your life? Go and watch these matches. It's on UFC Fight Pass. They might even be on YouTube, right? Her first match, she went against, I'm not going to break the whole tournament down when you're going to watch it, but I'll just tell you briefly about Grace's matches. She went against an MMA fighter from Japan that had weight on her, obviously, and Grace almost ended up putting her in a twister. She did put her in a twister and was trying to finish it, and it was just super epic, and she almost finished her, and it was crazy, and time ran out, and, right away, everyone knew, like, you could tell the fans were like, oh, you could just hear Eddie yelling, twister, twister, like, everybody was fired up about that, right? And then the next one, she got lined up, they had to switch the lineup a little bit, and she got lined up with 4-time world champ Rikako Yuaso, and Grace handled the pressure like G, like she is. She's the silent assassin. She's also G. You know what I mean? She's like, Gracie gumdrops, but she's like, emotionless killer. This one, she was pissed afterwards that she wanted to finish one, but I think she was mad, like she was upset, like she didn't get to finish anybody, but she killed it. She's a star in Japan. If you haven't seen that match between her and Yuaso, you should see that. Grace was just going back and forth, spiraling underneath, taking the, trying to take her back. Like the girl's going for leg locks. Grace is defending like a freaking beast. It was epic to watch. The fans loved it, and Grace became a star. They're drawing pictures of her. They're writing articles about her in other languages. It's really cool. So I got so much stuff I got to do. I got to print out all the. I save everything. I got to print out all the articles and put them up on the wall. At the same time, this is going down, right? Like right before this, Thor is in Kasai, stepping up a weight, fighting Craig Jones, Keon Duarte, some of the best guys in the world, a division above him. He had 2 tough ones, and then his third match, he armbarred the piss out of the guy. And Thor is a beast. He keeps going up weight classes and fighting everybody. Not everybody could do that. Like, I can't fight dudes 170, 175. I'll get killed out. You know what I mean? I'd be able to hold my own, but, eventually you're just going to get tapped. Those guys are just too big. And, yeah, it's just, he's an animal. So I was like trying to refresh my phone, catch like random Wi-Fi's in Japan and see if I could see what was going on. We were watching, me, Capella, Eddie, and JM just watching off our phones in the hotel at the Tachikawa Grand Hotel. But it was, we did what we had to do, and we were able to see some of it. And, that like the whole thing was crazy. Just Kasai, then Nat, like I have 2 students, Grace, obviously, and then, our first black belt, Thor, just in 2 of the biggest events in the country, in the world, really. I mean, Japan, if we're in Japan, that's world, people. Finishers, Enterprises has gone global, right? That's a division of Finishers worldwide. So Finishers worldwide, slanging out here. And then, the time difference definitely threw us off. Let's see, after the event, it was really cool. We got to meet a bunch of people from Instagram. People have been following us for months, for years. Diego, he's Takamura. He's been following us for months or years, I think, really like 2-3 years. So we got to meet him, got to meet people, and it was really dope. And all the girls killed it. There's Fabiana, she had a great match. I think she only had 1 match. Lila killed it. How about Laurie and Ilu? Ilu is Elvira Karapanen, Fabiano Zorzi, Grace Gundarumu. I forget how they said it, but saying the names was awesome. And they had the lady from Pride. That was sick. But Ilu is Viking. Like, they're Vikings from Finland. They really are. Like, look at Laurie and look at Ilu. Laurie is a monster, right? I'd love to see him and Thor training together. That'd be that we need those 2 guys going at it. And then Ilu, man, I didn't roll with her, but dude, she put out like 3 people in the first round. That was crazy. Just seeing her toe hold, armbar, she was busting some people up. But yeah, all the girls freaking killed it. And then meeting Liz Kamarush was really cool too. Like, she lived in Okinawa for 17 years, so she knew a lot about the culture and how our tattoos looked like we were in the Yakuza. So that was really cool having her there, and having her like being able to guide us around because we didn't know what the hell was going on. So that was dope. And then after the matches, we went back. We had like that night, and then me and Jam were off the next day. So we came flying back, and we just, like I said, when I walked in the door, it really hit me just to be how thankful I am to be able to go there. And just the fact that I might even have to go back is even crazier. Like, people know us in Japan. That's pretty insane. Like, I never thought, I just never thought that I'd be doing stuff like this. I really didn't. So also, the last thing I want to talk about, I don't know if you guys listened to the Kevin Hart pod when he was on Joe Rogan. He talks a lot about negativity. Now, he does talk a lot about, I'm going to open up a business. I'm going to open up this kind of business. I'm going to open up publishing. I'm going to open up another company. I'm going to open up a fragrance company. Like, he just got the money that can do that. Not everybody can do that type of stuff, but the idea of what he's saying is the most important, right? Positivity, right? His past experiences. I just wrote some stuff down. He said that understanding that, like, no matter what, like, perfection doesn't exist, but to be okay with things not going right or not being right at the time, and people are always going to find negative shit, and you're going to always be able to, no matter what thing happens to you, you're always going to be able to go negative on it, but don't go negative, right? Try to go positive. It's really hard to do. I know. And people say it's easy for you to say, and it is, but like, I've been there. Believe me, I've been there. I've been in these situations that suck, I'm not okay with it, and I don't want to be in those type of things. But if you can just, try to stay positive about things, man, it really helps out in so many different ways. Like he was telling a story about how he was walking, some lady pulled up and yelled out of her car, like, when are you going to make a movie that's any good? And then he was like, well, did you see this one? I thought that was pretty good. And she's like, no. And then that was it. That was like the end of it. I don't think maybe there was one more thing said, but it was like, you know what, lady, like, and I've done this, like, this is a Chris D'Elia thing. Like, I like the comedian Chris D'Elia. And here's the thing, it's called hashtag unfollowing. And I've been doing that a lot. I got it from JM too. Like, he's been unfollowing people. If you go on and write anything negative about me or my crew or anybody in my family or just anyone that I like, if you're just coming at something in a negative way, I just don't even want to be involved with it. Or if you're just the type of person that is just like constantly trying to bring everybody else down and like try to like knock people down to their level, like I don't want to even be involved with it. I don't want to be around that because it makes me negative and I don't want that, right? So go on and listen to that one. Like listen to that thing about positivity and then just, no matter what happens to you, like if it's already happened, I think that's I was looking at it's called, it's a phrase, crying over spilt milk. Like it's already done. It's over. Just let it ride and just try to move on from it and do what you can to make things better. Right. And yes, it is easy for me to say, but I mean, I'm still doing that. I'm still, trying to, work on things and just not, when bad things happen, I'm trying to not let it just take me out or like put me out for even 15 minutes. I'm trying to just be able to continually keep, moving in the right direction with whatever I'm doing. Like I'm working really hard and I appreciate everyone's support. Especially like my family, my wife, she's, takes care of everything while I'm gone. My parents and just everybody at the school, like Gabe, shout out to Gabe. He's a black belt now. So we're able to rank Gabe up to black belt. He's a beast. And, shout out to him and the rest of the guys, Andrew, artists and everybody back at the school, just taking care of it. I really appreciate you guys because without you guys, I couldn't do half of this stuff. And I want to keep, I do have goals to make a lot of money. And one of the reasons I want to make a lot of money is so I can put everybody else on and everybody can get out of the matrix and you're all doing, everybody's doing what they want to do. And we could, whether it's my wife and my friends, like we can all spend more time together. I'm talking about like for the school, like everybody spend more time together. We can train more together. Like everybody can travel more. We switch off teaching, like all that stuff. I want that for everybody and not just jiu-jitsu, but whatever you're into. I want that for you. I want you to, for you guys listening out there and my friends, I want you guys to get into your shit and just be able to, be like, like an entrepreneur if that's what you want, or to just have a really good job that you like going to every day and making the best out of whatever situation you're in right now. It could always be better, but believe me, it could be worse. So just keep that in mind. I'm trying to think about this type of shit every day. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to just constantly keep it on my mind. So that way I just, I stay positive and when you're positive, good things happen. It's just the truth. So I got to get going. I'm on my second coffee today. It's 3:40 something or other, and I got to go teach class. So, and then I'm off for 2 days. And then I'm taking my wife to see Twiddle. I'm really excited about that. My buddy John Morgan is going to be drumming in a band in one of the early bands. So I'm pumped to see that. And then I'm going to, train on the weekend. We got Easter coming up, and then I got a week, and then I compete for Fight to Win in Cleveland, Ohio. Same card as Stipe Miocic. And like I said, black belt super fight. I'm ready to throw down slang subs, kill or be killed finishers all day, every day. 10 Planet Bethlehem, Zach's Corner Podcast. Out of here. Peace! What's up, guys? Zach here from the Finishers Podcast and from this podcast, Zach's Corner Podcast. And this podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, The Grappler's Guide 3.0. Just go to thegrapplersguide.com, check it out. Actually, instead of going to thegrapplersguide.com, you can go to me on Instagram at Zach Maslany. Click the link in my bio. Under there, there'll be a spot that says Grappler's Guide. If you click that link and go to the Grappler's Guide, you can get 30% off. Use the promo code finishers too. You can get 30% off a lifetime membership, and I know there's some other deals with that too. So check out the Grappler's Guide. It's probably the largest grappling website that there is. Jason Scully, shout out to him. We filmed a bunch of videos on there. So if you're looking for the 10 Planet warm-ups, they're on there. If you're looking for, if you're like, dude, my open guard sucks ass, I need to figure some shit out, they're going to give you some ideas right there. Back attacks program, turtle and crucifix program, truck program, arm lock series. If you do gi for some odd reason, they got shit on there. If you're like trying to wrist lock people and piss them off, they got that on there. They also have what I really like is the outside experts. Not only do you get our stuff, but you get Riley Bodycomb, Dan Koval, Aaron Millam, Craig Jones, Wilson Hayes, Travis Stevens. You want to get your judo up? We're going to be down there. Lachlan Giles. If you want to get your guillotine up, learn from Josh Hinger. So check out the Grappler's Guide. Use the promo code finishers. Or like I said, go to Instagram, click the link in my bio, and then click where it says Grappler's Guide, use the promo code finishers, and you're good to go. Get your learn on, motherfucker!
Hey everybody, this is Paul Maslany, Zach's little brother. I am Zach's podcast producer for Zach's Corner. I produce podcasts for multiple shows. Anyone who's interested in starting their own podcast, producing a podcast, they need a podcast producer, they need someone to help them with audio for anything. I do a little bit of video production with it. We can get audio tracks and stuff up onto YouTube. You know, there's one-time deals. We could do hourly rates. I have packages. They're all custom built depending on what you want and what you need. I can help with one episode. I can help sign on for a whole season. It's whatever you're looking for. Maybe you just want me to show you how to do the basics and help you launch your podcast. Then you can take over and do everything on your own. Any of you who want to make recording a podcast a priority, I can show you how to do it yourself, help you get started. I could help you run it and produce it. If you want a professional quality podcast, I can get it up. I can get it online. Do your show notes. I can convert it to YouTube. I can get it on multiple platforms. There's other services are available as well. Reference the show notes for my email address to contact me